those people used to dress up when they went on the train. It. I just want you to, a lot of these companies, they don't understand we're all a bunch of volunteers. This is supported by donations. So it's not run by Amtrak, it's not run by any company. It's Pacific River Society is a nonprofit.
I love the history, and they did an absolutely beautiful way of restoring it and keeping it as original as they can. Even look at the way we can open and close the doors. I love that. Oh, this is so cool.
Look at the kitchen over here.
I'm here with Norm, and he actually owns this beautiful executive car. So could you talk about this car?
Yes. This car was built by the Canadian National Railroad in Montreal, Canada, in the Point St. Charles shops in 1959. And this was an executive car that railroad executives would use to tour their railroad, to look at the railroad, entertain customers and government officials. And they were very comfortable because these were the top executives. This car was built, the shell body was built by National Steel Car Company in Montreal. And it's 85 feet long. They loaded it on trucks and they trucked it through the narrow French provincial streets of Montreal. I don't know how they could get it down those narrow streets, over to the Point St. Charles shops, where it was lifted up and put atop a frame. And
it's amazing.
Yeah, and the car, it's 85 feet long and weighs 155,000 pounds. It's fully self-contained. It has a diesel generator and a heating unit and air conditioning. Of course, you're enjoying that today. It's a bit warm.
We're just going to stay here, actually.
Well, you're certainly welcome. And in 1990, Canadian National Railroad, in one of their great changes, said, we're going to get rid of the executive cars. They're just too expensive, too fancy. And so they sold them all.
One of the things is we think that we're in this, like, a nice Los Angeles restaurant. No, we're not. This is a private dining room, and it is magnificent. I cannot even believe how it's decorated, as well as the amenities here. It is something that you will never see again. It's a piece of history and nostalgia that cannot be produced anymore. And it's history alive.
And this one was sold to a wealthy businessman in Barstow, California, who bought it for $135,000 sight unseen, because he always wanted a railroad car.
That's quite a thing to try to do it unseen. He probably had no idea what the condition of it was or in that, but it is.
I'm sure he saw some photographs.
This is amazing. And of course there's probably had some stuff done to it, but I'm sure a lot of it is also still original.
Yeah. The basic body is original. We have done some woodwork, and we've converted the car to Amtrak standards. The car is equipped and qualified to travel at 110 miles an hour. And I have had this car in Canada. I was seated in the other corner over there by the end window, and I looked at the thermometer, and outside it was minus 31, as Canada can be in the winter, and inside it was 70 degrees. 101 degrees difference.
That is amazing. And so the only thing you actually are traveling on Amtrak's now, correct? On their tracks.
Right.
What's that like?
It's very comfortable. It's like a slightly higher level than Amtrak's sleeping car service. I have a chef, very skilled professional chef, and I have had Alan, our chef, prepare rack of lamb for 16 in his galley on the car here, and it was a magnificent job. Beautiful.
I've seen the galley, and it's amazing.
Yeah, he's a very skilled chef, and it's a very relaxed way to travel. I had a woman recently who boarded the car, and she said, "Do you have Wi-Fi?" I said, "No." "Do you have internet?" "No." "Well, what are we going to do?"
Oh no.
I said,
What are we
"Ma'am,
gonna
we're
do?"
going to use the latest technology developed. It's called conversation." And she looked at me. Suddenly she broke into a grin, and she realized that there really is a world out there without all these electronics.
And the one thing is that it is just looking at what it'd be like to, on this train, to actually look outside and just watch the world go by and have a book or a good conversation going on as you're riding the rails.
That's right. Very much so. I just finished a John Grisham novel. In the evening, even though we're parked here in the station for this show, in the evening after everyone leaves, I lay down on the bed there and in my room, and I finished a John Grisham novel, and it was great. Very relaxing.
Thank you so much for your time and keeping the history of this amazing car alive. It was an amazing experience to see this beautiful 1959 executive car at the Tioga Pass. It is a marvel, and I like the dining rooms and the sitting room and the smoking room and talking to Norm. He was a wealth of information.